Have you ever wondered why you can sense things others can't? Feel energies that seem invisible to everyone else, or have moments of knowing that defy all logical explanation? Yet you have no idea how to access these abilities consistently or use them with intention. If you've been experiencing glimpses of extraordinary spiritual gifts but feel frustrated because you can't seem to activate them on command, then what I'm about to share with you will finally give you the keys to unlocking and developing the chosen one abilities that have been dormant within you your entire life. This isn't about wishful thinking or fantasy. This is about understanding the very real spiritual technologies that are encoded in your consciousness, waiting to be activated through specific practices, mindset shifts, and energetic alignments. These abilities aren't random gifts given to a lucky few. They're the natural inheritance of every soul who has incarnated with a mission to serve humanity's awakening. I know how frustrating it can be to feel like you're carrying incredible potential, but not knowing how to access it. I know what it's like to have powerful spiritual experiences that fade away, leaving you wondering if they were real or if you'll ever be able to access that level of consciousness again. If this resonates with you, you're not alone in this. What you've been experiencing are previews of your true spiritual capabilities. And by the end of this video, you'll have a clear roadmap for activating these gifts consciously and consistently. The truth is, every chosen one is born with dormant spiritual abilities that are designed to activate at specific stages of their awakening journey. But here's what most people don't understand. These abilities don't activate automatically. They require conscious participation, specific practices, and most importantly, the right understanding of how spiritual gifts actually work. What I'm about to share with you isn't just theory. It's a practical system that I've used to help thousands of awakening souls activate their chosen one abilities. You'll learn the exact steps to awaken your dormant gifts, the common mistakes that keep these abilities blocked, and most importantly, how to integrate these powers into your daily life in service of your spiritual mission. Let me share something deeply personal that happened to me 9 years ago. An experience that taught me everything I needed to know about how chosen one abilities actually activate and why most people struggle to access them consistently. I had been on a conscious spiritual path for about 3 years, studying everything I could get my hands on about psychic development, energy healing, and spiritual awakening. I had read dozens of books, attended countless workshops, and practiced meditation religiously. I was doing everything right according to all the spiritual teachers I was following. But despite all my efforts, my spiritual abilities remained frustratingly inconsistent. I would have moments of profound intuitive knowing, followed by weeks of feeling completely disconnected from any spiritual guidance. I could sometimes feel and work with energy, but other times I felt like I was just pretending. I had occasional experiences of what seemed like telepathic communication, but I could never access these abilities when I actually needed them. I was beginning to think that maybe I wasn't really meant to be a spiritual teacher or healer. Maybe I was just fooling myself about having any special gifts at all. I felt like a fraud, claiming to help others with their spiritual development, when I couldn't even access my own abilities reliably. Then something happened that changed everything. I was visiting my grandmother, who was in the final stages of cancer. She was in tremendous pain, and the medications weren't helping anymore. As I sat beside her bed, feeling helpless and heartbroken, she looked at me with eyes full of suffering and said, "I wish someone could just take this pain away, even for a few minutes." In that moment, something shifted inside me. I stopped thinking about whether I had healing abilities or whether I was doing it right. I stopped worrying about whether I was worthy or trained enough. I simply placed my hands on her shoulders and opened my heart completely to the desire to help her, to serve her, to be a channel for whatever healing energy might be available. What happened next was unlike anything I had ever experienced. I felt this incredible surge of energy flowing through me, but it wasn't coming from me. It was flowing through me from some infinite source. My hands became incredibly warm, and I could actually see golden light flowing from them into my grandmother's body. She immediately relaxed, her breathing deepened, and for the first time in weeks, the pain lines disappeared from her face. But here's what was most profound about this experience. I realized that my abilities had never been inconsistent. They had always been there, waiting to be accessed. The problem was that I had been trying to activate them from my ego, from a desire to be special or powerful, rather than from a genuine desire to serve. That night, I understood the fundamental principle that governs all Chosen One abilities. They activate not when we want them for ourselves, but when we need them to serve others. They don't respond to our ego's desire for power or recognition. They respond to our soul's commitment to love and service. From that moment forward, everything changed. My abilities became not just consistent, but exponentially more powerful. But more importantly, I understood how to teach others to activate their own gifts by aligning with this same principle of service-oriented activation. Now, let me share with you the exact process for activating your Chosen One abilities, because understanding this system will transform your entire spiritual journey. The first key to activating your Chosen One abilities is what I call purpose alignment activation. Your spiritual gifts are not random. They are specifically designed to support your soul's mission in this lifetime. This means that your abilities will remain dormant or inconsistent until you align with your deeper purpose and commit to using your gifts in service of that purpose. Most people try to develop spiritual abilities as a form of personal empowerment or spiritual entertainment. They want to be psychic so they can know what's going to happen, or they want healing abilities so they can feel special and powerful, but Chosen One abilities don't work that way. They are service-oriented gifts that activate when you shift from what can these abilities do for me to how can these abilities help me serve. This doesn't mean you have to become a professional healer or psychic. Your purpose might be as simple as being a source of healing presence for your family, or using your intuitive gifts to guide your children, or channeling wisdom that helps your coworkers navigate challenges. The scale of your service doesn't matter. What matters is the sincerity of your intention to use your gifts for something greater than personal gain. The activation process begins with getting clear about your soul's purpose. Spend time in meditation, asking not what abilities do I have, but how am I meant to serve. When you align with your purpose first, your abilities naturally begin to activate to support that service. Stay with me, because what comes next will reveal the second key. And this one explains why so many people struggle to access their gifts consistently. The second key is ego dissolution practice. The biggest obstacle to activating Chosen One abilities is the ego's desire to own and control these gifts. Your ego wants to be special, to be recognized, to use spiritual abilities to feel superior to others, or to get its needs met. But spiritual gifts operate from a completely different frequency. They flow through you when your ego steps aside and allows your soul to take the lead. This is why many people have their most powerful spiritual experiences during times of crisis, grief, or surrender. When the ego is overwhelmed or temporarily dissolved, the soul's natural abilities can emerge. But you don't have to wait for crisis to access these states. You can cultivate ego dissolution through specific practices. The most effective practice I've found is what I call hollow bamboo meditation. In this practice, you visualize yourself as a hollow bamboo reed, completely empty of personal agenda, desire, or attachment to outcomes. You become a pure channel through which divine energy and wisdom can flow. You practice holding this state of egoless service until it becomes your natural way of approaching spiritual work. Another powerful practice is gratitude dissolution, where you spend time each day acknowledging that any abilities you have are not yours. They are gifts flowing through you from the infinite intelligence of the universe. This practice keeps your ego humble and maintains the proper relationship between your personality and your spiritual gifts. The key is understanding that you don't lose yourself when you dissolve ego. You find your true self. Your authentic spiritual power emerges when you stop trying to be powerful and start allowing power to flow through you. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The third key to activation is energetic purification protocol. Your spiritual abilities are like radio receivers. They can only pick up clear signals when there's no interference. Most people's energetic systems are cluttered with emotional baggage, limiting beliefs, energetic attachments, and vibrational debris that blocks the flow of spiritual gifts. Before your abilities can activate fully, you need to clear these energetic blockages. This isn't just about feeling better emotionally. It's about creating the energetic conditions that allow spiritual gifts to function properly. The purification process involves several components. First, you need to clear emotional trauma and limiting beliefs that create energetic static. Unhealed wounds, resentments, fears, and negative self-concepts all create energetic interference that blocks spiritual abilities. Second, you need to release energetic attachments, the invisible cords that connect you to people, places, or experiences that drain your energy or keep you vibrating at lower frequencies. These attachments act like energetic anchors that prevent you from accessing higher states of consciousness. Third, you need to cleanse your energetic field regularly through practices like sage smudging, salt baths, spending time in nature, or working with crystals. Just as you shower your physical body daily, your energetic body needs regular cleansing to function optimally. The purification process also includes upgrading your diet, reducing exposure to negative media and toxic people, and creating sacred space in your living environment. Everything in your life either supports or hinders your spiritual development. There's no neutral ground. If you're still watching, you're definitely someone who's ready to take your spiritual development seriously. And I want you to understand that this purification work is not optional if you want to access your full potential. The fourth key is frequency calibration training. Every spiritual ability operates at a specific frequency, and you need to learn how to tune your consciousness to these frequencies intentionally. Most people experience their abilities randomly because they don't know how to calibrate their frequency consciously. Think of it like tuning a radio. If you want to hear a specific station, you have to dial into the exact frequency where that station broadcasts. Similarly, if you want to access intuitive guidance, you need to calibrate to the frequency of higher wisdom. If you want to channel healing energy, you need to align with the frequency of divine love. This calibration happens through specific meditation practices, breath work, sound healing, and what I call consciousness anchoring. You learn to recognize the feeling of being tuned into different spiritual frequencies, and then you practice accessing these states at will. For example, the frequency of intuitive knowing feels different from the frequency of healing energy, which feels different from the frequency of protective power. As you develop sensitivity to these different frequencies, you can consciously choose which abilities to activate based on what's needed in any given situation. The training involves daily practice sessions where you intentionally tune into different frequencies and practice maintaining those states while engaged in normal activities. Over time, this becomes as natural as choosing which app to open on your phone. Stay with me, because what I'm about to share will reveal the fifth key. And this one is crucial for maintaining your abilities once they're activated. The fifth key is service integration mastery. Once your abilities begin to activate, you need to learn how to integrate them into your daily life in ways that serve your highest purpose without overwhelming your human experience. Many people make the mistake of either suppressing their gifts because they feel too intense, or becoming so identified with their abilities that they lose touch with their humanity. The integration process involves learning to be a spiritual being, having a human experience, rather than a human being trying to have spiritual experiences. You develop the ability to access your gifts when they're needed while still functioning effectively in the practical world. This requires developing what I call dimensional flexibility, the ability to shift between different levels of consciousness as appropriate for each situation. You learn when to access your psychic abilities and when to rely on logical thinking, when to channel healing energy and when to offer practical support, when to share spiritual insights and when to simply listen with compassion. The mastery comes in learning to use your abilities in service of love rather than in service of ego. Every time you access your gifts, you ask, how can this ability serve the highest good in this situation? This question keeps you aligned with your true purpose and prevents your abilities from becoming tools for manipulation or self-aggrandizement. You also learn to maintain healthy boundaries around your gifts. Just because you can read someone's energy doesn't mean you should. Just because you can heal doesn't mean you're responsible for fixing everyone's problems. Part of integration mastery is knowing when and how to use your abilities appropriately. The sixth key is collective consciousness connection. Your individual abilities are exponentially amplified when you connect with the collective consciousness of other awakened souls. This isn't just about finding community. It's about understanding that chosen one abilities are designed to work in harmony with other awakened beings. When you connect with others who are also developing their spiritual gifts, you create what's called a morphic field, an energetic network that amplifies everyone's abilities. This is why spiritual communities, meditation groups, and healing circles can be so powerful. The collective consciousness creates a field of possibility that allows individual abilities to emerge more easily. The key is learning to contribute to this collective field rather than just drawing from it. Every time you use your abilities in service of love, you strengthen the entire network. Every breakthrough you make in your own development helps others access their gifts more easily. Now, here's where it gets even more profound. The seventh key is timeline activation mastery. As your abilities develop, you gain access to what I call timeline navigation, the ability to perceive and influence the probable futures that are available to you and to humanity. This isn't about predicting a fixed future. It's about understanding that reality exists in quantum superposition with multiple potential timelines available at every moment. Your consciousness, especially when aligned with your chosen one abilities, can influence which timelines become manifest. This ability allows you to make decisions that align with the highest possible outcomes, to sense which actions will lead to which consequences, and to consciously participate in creating the reality you want to experience. It's one of the most advanced chosen one abilities, but it naturally develops as you master the previous keys. The activation of timeline mastery requires absolute commitment to serving the highest good, because this level of power can only be accessed by consciousness that has transcended personal agenda. The universe only grants this ability to souls who can be trusted to use it for the benefit of all beings. Fellow chosen ones, I want you to understand something crucial about this activation process. It's not a linear journey where you master one key and then move on to the next. These keys work synergistically. Progress in one area supports development in all the others. Some of you might find that certain keys come more naturally than others. Some might discover that your abilities activate suddenly and dramatically, while others experience a gradual unfolding over months or years. There's no right or wrong way for this process to happen. Trust your unique journey. But here's what I want you to remember. The activation of your chosen one abilities is not the end goal. It's the beginning of your real work. These gifts are tools that allow you to fulfill your mission more effectively. They're not meant to make you feel special or superior. They're meant to make you more capable of serving love in the world. The world needs you to activate your abilities now. Humanity is going through an unprecedented awakening process, and we need every chosen one to step into their full power. We need healers who can work with energy, intuitives who can access higher guidance, teachers who can channel wisdom, and bridges who can help others access their own gifts. Your abilities are not accidents. They're precisely calibrated tools that your soul chose before incarnating. They're designed to help you fulfill your specific role in humanity's evolution, but they will remain dormant until you make the conscious choice to develop them in service of something greater than yourself. Here's your action plan for beginning this activation process immediately. First, get clear about your purpose. Spend time in meditation, asking how you're meant to serve. Don't worry about the big picture. Just focus on how you can serve right now, with whatever abilities you currently have access to. Second, begin daily ego dissolution practice. Spend at least 10 minutes each day in hollow bamboo meditation, practicing being an empty vessel for divine energy to flow through. Third, start your energetic purification protocol. Begin clearing emotional baggage, releasing toxic relationships, and creating sacred space in your life. Your abilities can only emerge in a clean, energetic environment. Fourth, practice frequency calibration daily. Learn to recognize the feeling of different spiritual frequencies and practice tuning into them intentionally. Fifth, look for opportunities to use whatever abilities you have in service of others. Start small, offer healing energy to a friend with a headache, share an intuitive insight that might help someone. Use your presence to bring peace to a difficult situation. And finally, connect with other awakening souls. Find your spiritual community, whether online or in person. Your abilities will develop much faster when you're supported by others who understand what you're going through. Remember, you don't have to be perfect to begin this process. You don't have to have your life completely figured out or be free from all personal challenges. You just have to be sincere in your desire to grow and serve. Your abilities are waiting for you to claim them. They've been dormant long enough. The world needs what you have to offer, and you're ready to begin accessing your full potential as a chosen one. Your time is coming, fellow chosen one. Actually, your time is here. The activation process begins the moment you make the commitment to develop your gifts in service of love. Everything you need is already within you. You just need to know how to access. You have more power than you realize. Literally. These abilities are your birthright as a chosen one, and they're waiting for you to activate them through conscious practice and service-oriented intention. You're exactly where you need to be in your spiritual development, even if you feel like you're just beginning to understand your true capabilities. And your mission, whatever form it takes, will be empowered by these gifts in ways that will transform not just your life, but the lives of everyone you touch. Trust yourself, trust your gifts, and trust that as you commit to this activation process, the universe will support you in developing abilities beyond what you currently imagine is possible. The world is waiting for you to step into your full power. As a chosen one, your abilities are the keys to fulfilling your mission and serving humanity's awakening. It's time to activate them consciously and use them with intention. Welcome to your emergence as a fully activated chosen one. Your dormant abilities are dormant no more. It's time to let them shine in service of love. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell, because you won't want to miss what's coming next. This isn't just a video. It's a calling for the chosen ones like you.